Today is the last step of our modified grid project, and you will be creating the neutral colored background. And in your neutral colored background, you will never have any two shapes with the same value next to each other. And there's a couple of ways to create different values in the background. So one way is to use, so at this point you should have your modified grid with your organic shape, and you should have the color inside whatever your shape is. So this one has the secondary colors, this one has the primary colors, this one has the warm and the cool. So you have to have one of those done. Then you get to choose whichever one. So I'm going to work on, this was my secondary example, but it's the same background for all of them. And so there are four basic ways to make value that we're going to have. One is with our dense Sharpie marker. One would be with our colored pencil, and we can use it either in a way that's really heavy and dense or very light or medium. You could use a regular pencil, which will give us gray values, or if you have a gray colored pencil of your own, you can use that as well. And using a combination of these will get us a variety of neutral values in the background. So I'm going to start first with my Sharpie. And again, never are we letting the same value sit next to the same value. So you can see these really dense black areas on here are Sharpie, and they're sort of spread out sporadically throughout. So if I'm going to start with that, I'm going to come in and I'm going to start here. I'm just going to put a black square here, and I'm going to trace inside. So I'm always inline barrier, and I'm going to do it twice. And then I'm going to do lines up and down so that I'm really neat and I'm not going outside of my space. If your block is not turning nice and black, you're either going too fast and you're not allowing the ink to come out, or you are you're running out of ink. Usually it's that you're going too fast. Okay, so for the next block, I'm going to do a light gray. So I'm going to use my pencil, and I have my pencil at a slant, and I'm doing a technique, and I call it like line next to line, to make this really smooth so I end up with an even value in here. I'm going to put the pencil, and I'm sort of tipping it on its side. I'm not holding it tight at the top, so I'm tipping out on its edge, and this is just a regular pencil. Then I'm going to go back the other direction, and it's called leveling. So I'm going to lightly shade back over it. Now, if it's nice and even, which it is, I can choose to leave it like that. Or I could take a piece of paper towel or toilet paper, whatever, some type of paper, and I could smooth this shape. And I want to wrap it around my finger so I'm getting it like in one specific spot, so I don't want to spread the graphite any further around, and I can make it a really nice even space. Now, I might choose to leave this one white. This one I'm going to make a shade of gray, but I'm going to use my black color pencil, and I'm going to go lightly in here, and that will create a different value of a gray, and I'm allowing the white of the paper to show through, and I'm going to try not to do that. So I'm going to first maybe go edgewise, nice and slow, and I always go across. So I do one direction and then I color gently the other to make sure I'm picking up any gaps and I'm being as even as I can. If I over color somewhere, I'm going to take my magic rub and try to erase out of there. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep working my way around. So if I leave that one white, I might choose to do a different value with my pencil here. So instead of going really light, I'm going to go sort of medium pressure with my pencil. And I'm always working to try and make it as even as I can. So there's my vertical, and then for me, I'm going to have to turn it to be really even. I'm pulling up and down is the best for me. And I'm going to pull this direction, and I'm making a different value of gray. So it's a matter of controlling the pressure of the pencil. All right. And I'm doing this. I'm going to work my way out. So I'm going close to my animal, and I'm working my way out to the edge so my hand is not dragging over places where I have graphite. If my hand drags over and I have graphite, I may get some like smudging into my areas that I want to leave white. Now, I can always go in at the end and I can go back into those areas. So here I'm going to do this one black. So I'm leaving that one white, and now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trace inside my shape. And then I have my mat down underneath, so I'm just using the inside of my folder, and I can just do lines. I don't have to worry about the bottom being neat because I can pull right off that end. And I'm just going to keep pulling all the way out to that edge. Now, if you have things like other colored pencils, I would say even if you have, you know, a gray marker, I don't have one, but if you had things like a gray colored pencil or a gray marker, other ways to make different values. So I'm going to do this colored pencil value here. I'm going to probably do this colored pencil value here. It's like a different sort of kind of gray, and it's giving me a medium value. But if you don't have it, it's fine. You can do it all with your Sharpie and your pencil. And I'm going to work my way around. So I'm going to leave, maybe I'll leave this one. I'm going to make this one right here black. So I can corner black to black without a problem. And then I'm going to leave on the edge this one white, and then go back to, you know, a neutral. So I'm going to come into here. I always trace around. I'm most careful probably with my marker because there's no way to go back and fix it. If you color into the next block, there's no taking it back. So always make a barrier, and then the slow and steady really wins the race with this, meaning you don't have errors and you don't have things to go back and redo if you take your time when you're doing this. Alright, so there's my black block, and I'm going to leave this one, I'm going to leave this one white, but I'm going to make this one a really light gray. And then I'm going to go back to using my colored pencil gray here, so that I'm just trying to create a variety of neutral colors in the background. And I don't want to leave too much white. It's distracting if you have too much white, but I think having some sporadically in there does look good. It's that variety. Now, if you're like, well, I have a colored pencil set and I have, you know, 5 different gray colors, and I want to, you know, tone mine down so I don't have too much white, I'm okay with that as long as you end up with neutrals in the background. And neutral colors are black, white, and gray. So I'm going to leave probably this one white. I'm going to go back to my black colored pencil, and I'm going to use that here. I'm going to inline here, and then pull nice and evenly this direction, and then I'll go the other direction on top of it. So that is essentially it. You will be filling the entire background with neutral colors, black, white, and gray, and you should never put the same value of gray next to itself. So each time we're doing this, I'm going to do this one a really light gray with my pencil. I'm going to leave that one white. And if you need to review this video, if you have questions, email me, but that is it. And then I'm going to smooth this once I get it in there. And you should end up with a variety of values in the background using your Sharpie, your black colored pencil and a pencil. And if you have other things of black, white, and gray that you want to add to this mix, you can, but it should be sort of an even. So make sure you have some marker, some colored pencil, whatever it is you're using, like evenly throughout. And that is it. When you're done, submit.